everyone, welcome back to another episode of Screen Tested. I am your host Tyrant, where we take things from movies, TV shows, pop culture, try to create them in the real world and test them one-to-one from the media they come from. And lately I've been playing God of War again. And it made me nostalgic, and it made me want to do another God of War episode. I've done 2 already, which is obviously the Chaos Blades and the Nemean Cestus Fists. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Leviathan Axe. Now this is not a perfect Leviathan Axe replica, but it is functional, it has the same sort of shape, and it's a really nice axe. So this is what I want to be testing in today's episode. Now when I say testing, I don't actually mean testing the axe specifically. It's more so how Kratos throws his axe. He throws it a single one hand like this on the side, and he also throws a double hand over. And I'm curious how they actually perform as axe throws, because usually when you see an axe being thrown, it's more straight over the top. I also want to do some of his movesets. Well, I say movesets, they're not really movesets. They're actually very basic. They're very simple. They're not hard to do, but I'll do them anyway because they're fun. We'll also do some cutting because I actually want to cut with this axe because it's a nice axe. But that is what we have in store for today's episode on the Leviathan Axe. Let's get started. I love God of War, I love axes, I love throwing things, and I love cutting things. So this one's all fun, baby. Let's get started. Kick things right off, getting straight wham bam into the action. Let's see how this axe cuts on a bottle. It should be nice and sharp, which is exactly what we want. That one didn't go all the way through. What an interesting sound. I wonder if the microphone caught that. That's a lot of damage. Let's do another. So the reason why I'm starting with these mediums is just to see how well this axe actually cuts. If I was to use this, how Kratos does. And all right. This is a nice axe. I like this axe. Let's do another couple more. I'm enjoying myself right now. This is just for fun. This axe is so nice. Okay, we've established that this thing is sharp, this thing cuts, and I really like it. Let's throw it now. Let's see how Kratos throws his axe. And we'll see if it's a good way of throwing axes. So I'm just gonna do a couple normal axe throws before we do Kratos's. And that is in deep. Seemed to do all right. That was on target, it just didn't have enough power. I mean, hey, I want to make this very clear. I've never thrown an axe before, actually. I'm enjoying it. Actually, I think I've done it once. You got that. Please tell me you got that. That is as perfect as I can get. We established it can be thrown like a normal axe. Now, let's try Kratos' methods. So he does a... Holy shit! First f***ing try. You have to like the video now. You have to like the video. That was it. Come on, that was sick as. Fucking hell, this is sick! It worked. All right, guys. I am sure that axe throwing is not this easy. I'm sure there's an art to it. I'm sure that it takes training. I'm just not getting those vibes. If you know anything about axe throwing, leave them below, because this is awesome. That was on target. It just bounced. That is fun. That's very fun. If you haven't already, you should consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. That was f***ing in, man. I broke the tip off. That is a perfect Kratos throw. It's even at the right angle. Kratos' one arm throw works. Let's try his double. It is a bit weird because he kind of like, he does it to the side a bit. Shit. There's always one. There is always one. I hit the camera. My bad. I missed completely. That was definitely on target. That was f***ing dead on, man. What the f***? Yep. I can see it hitting right tip on, but for some reason it's not staying in the wood. So before we get to the final test, which is the distance of throwing, I wanted to talk about a couple of little observations that I've had already, and that is throwing it like Kratos, right? So the overhand two to the side, I'm not a fan of. It's just terrible. Your aim is offset. It's much better just to throw it like how you would a regular axe. I think the reason why that is the way it is simply just for game mechanics. I think it looks really good to have it on the side, especially when you're a third-person viewer, right? This one though, throwing it like this, one-handed, that was far more effective than I thought it would be. It was actually awesome. However, there's a caveat. When it came to the long distance throwing, and even some of the shorter ones, the shorter ones were all right. It was more the long distance ones. It wouldn't actually bite in completely into the wood and actually stay stable. It was only when you were throwing it overhand where all of that force wedges the axe in, right? When you do it on kind of like the 45, a lot of that energy is actually being lost. And it actually got to the point where I was hitting tip on. I was making contact with the blade, but because it wasn't actually biting in and staying in, the tip, the horn of the axe snapped off. Now, I want to make this very clear. This axe is actually sick. I am personally going to buy one of these. What I've been doing with it is ridiculous. This is awesome though. This was just a super niche situation which actually broke the tip of the axe off. But so far, throwing it like Kratos on the 45, it works and it's really cool. Just when you get to a little bit of a distance throw, it might be a little bit more tricky. Is it better than the classic overhand, straight down? I don't think so, not so far. Especially when it comes to actually aiming, because you are throwing it in a straight line, it makes aiming a lot better than throwing it on the 45. This isn't 100% scientific, this next bit. This next bit should be a motto, right? I counted Kratos' steps in the game, and it's about 54 to 55 steps. I'm not including the enchantment when you have the Valkyrie Queen pommel on, because you can basically just throw it for infinity. But when Kratos is just throwing it with his own strength, so far as what we can see in the game, it's about 54 to 55 Kratos steps. So they're a little bit larger than my steps, obviously. So that's what I'm going to try and beat. Do I think I'll beat it? Probably not. Do I think I'll come close? Hopefully. I hope I do. All right, let's get to it, because I'm curious about this distance. I think I did that one. Shit, my microphone fell off. Stand, haven't lost my spot. All right, let's count it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 54! Holy shit! I did it! Hell. Let's do another one. All right, from right where I'm standing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. All right. 48 on that one. There's not going to be a rating for this one today because obviously it's an axe. Even if we're taking a look at Kratos' Leviathan axe, it's still an axe at the end of the day, so that doesn't really need a score. However, I do want to talk about it a little bit because there is some, this was fun. I really enjoyed this. This one actually, I wasn't expecting it to work as well as it was. Now, I am no expert in like axe throwing. I've only done it like once, and that was, even that one time, I wouldn't really call axe throwing. So I don't know if there's a technique for throwing it kind of at a 45, but it worked pretty good. Obviously the overhand works, we know that works. We've seen people, that's the technique for doing an axe throw, right? So when it came to the long distance throws, now obviously it wasn't 100% scientific, there is some margin of error there, but I tried to count Kratos' steps in the game, and it's around 54 to 55 steps, even with a bounce on his most powerful throw, right? Not including the magic one with the Valkyrie pommel end, like I said earlier. I was able to get that. Now, the caveat to that is I was kind of on a, an incline, so maybe that helped a little bit. But even without that incline, when I had heavy wind resistance, it was still around 47-ish, nearly in the 50 mark, I can't remember. I'll cut a clip in because I can't remember exactly. 48. So it is an achievable throw. It actually is entirely possible. It's not that superhuman, which is interesting because you would assume that for someone like Kratos who can lift billions of tons and is a god, he should be able to throw it further. So I'm not really sure why they did in the game, they didn't make the throw a little bit longer. That's just an interesting one, I'm not sure. I did some of the movesets and honestly they're very basic. This is something that I actually never really paid too much attention to because obviously I'm more of a Chaos Blade stan, but the Leviathan axe movesets are kind of basic. There's not really much to them, but then again, it is an axe, so I kind of get it. There is some of the moves with the magic, how he throws it and it comes back, sure. But in a general sense, there isn't too much complicated stuff there. But it was fun to do. I enjoyed doing not only the movesets, I enjoyed throwing it. This axe has been wicked as well. This one here was lent to me by Shad. Sorry, Shad, I broke the tip off, buddy. My bad. But yes, that is going to be all for today's episode. I genuinely hope you enjoyed, guys. It was a whole bunch of fun. If you want to support this channel and you want to support this type of content, you can. Down below next to the subscribe button, there should be a join button. You can become a channel member, get exclusive video, behind the scenes videos. Yeah, I would really appreciate it because it helps me make this type of content. But that is all for today's episode. This was just a fun one. I really enjoyed it. This worked way better than I thought it would. It is an axe at the end of the day, which is a pretty cool weapon to begin with. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, I'll see you in another episode. Have a good one.